merchant's son in a high-back chair with the nation's weight beneath him there. Keys at his belt, ink on his hands, keeping the gold of the king's command. Ships crossed black water, armies were fed, silver went south while the paper spread. Each royal letter demanded more, each sealed request left an emptier floor. He counted the sovereigns row after row and heard the vault whisper, "How low can we go? Hold the door, bar the gate, tell the crowd their gold can wait. Sign the page, ring the bell, no one must know the bottom of the world." Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall, counting the coin while the reserves grew small. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't make confidence golden again. Crack in the ledger, crack in the crown, one whispered panic brought thread and needle down. All the king's horses and all the king's men printed the promise and raised him again. Came running from the western shore, foreign boots had touched them more. The city awoke with a single demand, "Give us the gold we were promised in hand." Merchants arrived before morning light, widows and tradesmen joined the line. Notes were held to the iron grill, but paper was paper and paper stood still. The minister came with a powdered smile, "Just one more loan for the war a while." The keeper replied, "There is nothing below." The minister answered, "Then none need know." Lock the door, lower the chain, promise the sun while you pray for rain. Stamp the note, make it law, paint over every widening floor. Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall, counting the coin while the reserves grew small. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't make confidence golden again. Crack in the ledger, crack in the crown, one whispered panic brought thread and needle down. All the king's horses and all the king's men printed the promise and raised him again. The sailors refused the lash and the chain, the fleet held silent out in the rain. Bread climbed higher, wages stayed low, and every street learned what rulers don't show. The keeper sat where the portrait stared, surrounded by men who had never been scared. He signed the order with trembling ink, "No gold leaves here till the kingdom can think." The door stayed shut, the notes went round, the shelf stayed high though the core was unsound. And morning declared with the bell striking 10, the kingdom was whole and was wealthy again. But gold does not grow from a printer's black wheel. A promise may circulate, that doesn't make it real. A wall may still stand when the mortar is gone. A king may keep smiling when the faith has moved on. One for the cannon, two for the fleet, three for the hungry who crowded the street, four for the minister, five for the crown, six for the keeper who dared not look down. Seven sealed letters, eight locks turned, nine little ledgers where the last gold burned. 10,000 voices outside in the rain, "Give us the value you promised again." Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall, counting the coin while the reserves grew small. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't make confidence golden again. Crack in the ledger, crack in the crown, one whispered panic brought thread and needle down. All the king's horses and all the king's men printed the promise and raised him again. They changed the name on the office door, swept up the fragments across the floor. A new man climbed to the old man's chair and told the kingdom the gold was there. The keeper went home with his ledgers closed, his warning buried, his part disposed. No statue raised and no bells were rung for the man who guarded an empty one. History remembered the law and the war, the king and the minister asking for more, but not the hands that held the wall. When everybody knew it was ready to fall, Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall, holding the kingdom though nothing held all. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't make hard money honest again. Crack in the ledger, crack in the crown, one empty promise brought everything down. All the king's horses and all the king's men patched up the paper and called it gold again. Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall, high above thread needle hiding the fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men put back the pieces, but not the trust again. Count the coin, count the cost, count what remains when the gold nothing at all.